All right, good evening. All right, good evening. Good evening. I am so sorry. I'm a whole 10 minutes late for I had serious problem with my network. The app just won't work when it was time, and I had to switch to a different device altogether. I am so sorry. Good evening, everyone. My name is Maribeth Chima. Welcome to PTM Live broadcast. So last week we made a bit of change to our Thursday PTM Live, and we said we're going to make our PTM Live shorter, right? We're going to make them shorter, and so we will introduce the topic on Thursday and then talk about the topic on Thursday. If we're done with it, that's fine. Then we get to talk about other things for a few minutes at 5 p.m. every day. And if we don't finish with what we're talking about on Thursday, then we get to do it during the course of the week. Okay, so we will be here at 5 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday, for a few minutes, just talking about parenting, our favorite thing, right? That we talk about on this space, right? Great. So my name is Maribeth Chima. I am the convener of the parenting group, Parenting Through Mentorship on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram and on YouTube also. It is always exciting to be on your screen. And as usual, I'm excited to be here today. If you are with me, if you are watching, if you happen to bump in here, if you are waiting for this session, please make some noise in the comments. Let us know that you are with us. Let me know that you are watching me, and let me know where you are watching me from. So last week we introduced the topic why you should allow your child teach you, why you should become a student of your child. Last week I said it is very simple. You have not parented the child you are parenting right now. You have not parented that child before. I don't care if you have a child that is 20 years old. You have not parented that 15 or 14 or 10, 8 or 2-year-old before. You've not parented the child that is 2, that is a boy, that has that temperament, that has the personality, that has the gift, okay, and has all that this particular child has. So yes, you're parenting a new person altogether. So why don't you chill, calm down, and let the child teach you who he is and how best to parent the child. All right, so last week, what did we even look at? We talked about that, and we looked a bit, okay, into all of that. So today we want to look at our children's personalities, right? We want to look at their temperament and how this affects why one child is different from the other. So you could be a parent that has, hi, hello Priska, Port Harcourt, it's good to have you. Hi Norma from Abuja, it's good to have you here. All right, so today we want to, sorry. So today we want to look at why you can have 2 children, and then one of them is, in fact, why you can have a twin, a set of twin or triplets, and each of them is completely different. My son has friends. He has a set of, sorry, I hope I'm not having network issues. So my son has his friends, a set of triplets, and he tells me how they are completely different. In fact, he's amazed a lot of the times, and he says to me, I don't even understand why people can be born at the same point and the 3 of them can be so different. Okay, why are they that different? It is their temperaments. Okay, it is the temperament. The temperament is the reason why you can be, you can be brought up by the same group of people, the same people, the same parents. You can be given exactly the same experience, and yet you are different. Because sometimes when we have issues come up in parenting, okay, especially the way they come up on social media these days, back to back, when we have these issues come up, what people say is a child that will be bad will be bad. You hear those kind of things amongst people, parents. Who will be bad will be bad. I mean, is it not the same way they brought this one up that they brought the second one up? How come one turned out well and the other didn't turn out well? or how come this happened to this person and this person is not like that? That is because the two children are not the same. So the way one child is going to react, okay, or the way one child is going to take something, okay, and interpret it, okay, and live by that thing is going to be different from the way the next child is going to approach that same thing. So basically, it's our temperament that determine how we approach life. Okay, it's your child's temperament that will determine how that child approaches life. So yes, your temperament is a personal thing, and it has nothing, it's not something that can be changed. No, temperaments cannot be changed because it is inherited. So it is something that your child gets by virtue of their, chromosomes and DNA and all of that. The child inherits it from the both parents. Okay, so these traits come together, and this is who the child is. So yes, the temperament. Okay, so the temperament is responsible for why we act the way we act. Okay, why one child acts in a particular way and another acts in another way. Yes, so the temperament is not something that can be changed because it's inherent. Okay, however, what parents can do for their children is we can teach our children to understand their temperament and know how to manage their temperament so that they can approach life in a good way. Okay, so yes, you cannot change their temperament. Okay, temperament is not something that can be altered. However, the child can be taught to understand his or her temperament, okay, and to manage his or her temperament in a way that their outcome, okay, in a way that their outcome or how they approach life is just fine. Okay, so how, you as a parent, how you approach each of your kids is going to make a difference, okay, or how you parent each of your children. So you need to understand their temperaments, okay, allow them teach you who they are, allow them express, uh, you need to come to the place where you sit and then you just watch and you learn who that child is. So from the point where you give birth to your children, what you want to do is you want to study the child. So it begins right from the cradle. When you have one child, that you just feed the child, the child bobs and all of that, and when it's time to sleep, you drop the child on the bed and the child just goes to sleep easily, no trouble. Okay, yet another child is going to seek your attention back to back, back to back, back to back. And then sometimes we don't understand and we begin to hit the children. It's because, hey, this person has a genetic makeup. This person has a makeup that has nothing to do with you. Okay, so yes, the calm child is probably just going to be there, calm, no stress, no trouble, and all of that. And then another child will come and not be that calm. The child is going to need your attention by the minute. Okay, so the moment you're able to understand that, okay, so let's say for instance your first child was really very calm and all that, so you've parented that child, the child is about 4 or 5 right now, and then all of a sudden, okay, and then eventually there's a second child, and this second child is not that calm. This second child is a different child altogether. This second child has a different temperament altogether. So what you are to do is you're supposed to calm down and allow the second child teach you who he or she is so that you can parent them efficiently or adequately, or you can parent them bearing in mind how they should be parented or who they are. So you cannot come and take the same templates that you used to parent the first child and parent the second child. What you will be doing is probably you will be breaking the spirit of this child, or you will be forcing the child to be somebody that the child is not. So yes, you must stop and watch and observe that child. You must stop, watch, observe your child, and find out who your child is so that you can parent the child adequately. As I said earlier on, we cannot change the temperament. If you join us, please let us know where you're watching us from. I am streaming from Abuja, Nigeria. So if you're joining, please let us know where you're watching from, and please say something in the comments so we know you are with us. We like it when you say something in the comments because we want to say hi to you too. I love to say hi to you. All right, so good. So you allow the child you allow the child, teach you who he is so that you can parent the child adequately. Okay, so we cannot even talk temperament, or the best way to talk about temperament is to look at the theory of four temperaments. Okay, this theory explains why people are different, okay, in their taste, in their creative capacity, in their strength, and in their weaknesses. Okay, so these four temperaments, okay, this four theory of four temperaments will explain this to us. Okay, now the temperament is divided into four. I'm sure a lot of us know this. I'm going somewhere, just hang in there with me. So I'm sure a lot of us know that temperament is divided into four. So there is the sanguine. Okay, so your child could be a sanguine. Okay, your child could be a sanguine, and your child is that child that is extroverted, like really, really an extrovert, the life of the party. The one who steps into the room and everybody will gain ginger. The one that steps into the room and everywhere is alive. My daughter is that. My daughter is a typical sanguine. So she walks into the space and everything comes alive. So you cannot get upset with her because she has, even at 5, she just turned 6. So even at 6, you can't get upset with her for too long before because she comes in and you have your face, you're really like serious, and she's like, "Hi, Onyinye, it's good to have you." All right, you have your face serious, and she's like, "Mommy, why are you so serious?" Like, she feels really, every time is a party. As far as my daughter is concerned, every time is a party. So let's just have fun. Every time is a party. So she told me last 2 weeks, I was very busy last 2 weeks, trying to finish up, with some things I had to do, the book, and get it out and all of that and all of that. And for some reason, I had to cut down on some of the things that we did together. So I told her, "Oh, sorry, honey, I have, um, I'm a bit busy this period, okay? Oh, so we would just shift some of the things we do in the morning, we'll do them in the evening, and all of that." And the next day she came in and she said to me, "Mommy, I don't know, I'm not even enjoying school anymore." Like, I'm not enjoying school. Whenever you are writing, I don't. They're that blunt. Maybe please, did you go? Thank you. So they're that blunt, okay? They're that blunt. They say it to you as it is, okay? The typical sandwich says it to you as it is. They're the life of the party. They drop it as it is, and then they move on, okay? They do not have, they do not have problems making friends, right? So they're the ones that you walk into a place and they can make friends easily. They can make friends easily, and you don't have to, you don't have to make friends for them, or you don't have to make sure that they are doing well like some parents will do. You go the extra length to make sure that your child is doing well in that gathering, and then you try to make friends. So now, come and meet this person. No, the sanguine child doesn't need you. She will make her friends herself. And then it doesn't even matter whether it's adults or children, they can make friends with anybody. So my daughter and I traveled in December. We went for a wedding in Jos. Okay, one of someone very close to us was getting married. So we went for that wedding in Jos, and it was fun. It was her first time in Jos. It was and I had not been in Jos for a long time. I schooled in Jos, Nigeria, by the way. So that was the first time I was going in like many years. So we had a lot of fun, old friends and all that, And then we came back from Jos, and like a couple of weeks later, she saw one of my friends that we were at the wedding together. We went to Jos together. We had that lovely time together, and she saw her, and after greeting and all that, she said to her, "You remember Jos, right?" like now, you know how we rode. Like, "Oh," she doesn't know. You remember Jos, right? Like, we had maximum fun. So that's what a sanguine child is, or a sanguine person is like. Okay, so the next group is the choleric, right? So the choleric is the bossy one. Yes, the choleric is extroverted also, is an extrovert, but not anywhere near as extroverted as the sanguine person is. So the choleric is is a very independent person, doesn't have a problem with making decisions, doesn't have a problem with making decisions for themselves and even making decisions for you. They are bossy in a way. They're bossy in a way. They're not frightened by adversity. In fact, when there are trials, the choleric is the one who stays on and is ready to take on life, right? So you might have the child that is a typical choleric, okay, and doesn't give up. Okay, he doesn't give up. I mean, he's bossy, he's pushy, he's independent and can do all of these, a lot of things on his own. And then there comes your second child, and your second child is a typical sanguine that just wants to play and have fun and is not interested in seeing things through. And then before you know it, you are constantly on the neck of child two because, hey, his brother is so put together. See him, you don't even need to tell him what to do. He goes and he does his things by himself. Look at you. You will never, now you put two children and you're judging them, and then there's all the stereotype, and you're there giving, you're trying to force the child to be who the child is not. Remember, I said that temperaments are not things. We cannot change a person's temperament. You can only teach the person to understand their temperament, and you can only teach them to understand their temperament when you understand their temperament. So you see why we keep saying that parenting is a thing that should be done with knowledge. You cannot not parent. You cannot parent effectively if you do not allow yourself become knowledgeable. You cannot parent effectively if you refuse to get information and to pimp or to add to that information every day. So there is so much to learn. Okay, there's so much to learn about the child if we're going to understand why they do the things they do in order for us to support them. Okay, so yes, your choleric is independent and can start a task and see it through. So at the point where you are teaching your children executive function, it won't be very difficult, right? With your choleric child is more likely to develop their executive functioning skills faster than your child who is a sanguine. Very important. Okay, yes, parenting must be done with knowledge. You cannot parent without knowledge in the 21st century. You can't parent without knowledge. Know this and gain some peace. Know this and gain some rest in the middle of your life. I was at a gathering at my son's school some years back, and someone was talking to us. I think it was a Mother's Day conference, and she said there is the best way to explain the scripture. What scripture? The scripture that says that you should parent your children well, something like that, so that you can have peace in your old age and all of that. So she said it's very simple, as in the best. The simplest way to look at that is do the work today and rest tomorrow. Because if you do not do the work tomorrow today, at the point where you should be resting, you will be working. So you will retire from everything else, but you will not be able to retire. Okay, it's not like parenting is something that will ever stop. I've said this many times, that you will continue to be a parent forever, but you're not going to parent your child forever. So parenting is not forever. Being mommy or daddy is forever. Caring and loving and all of that to your children, that is forever. But to say you will come and decide what happens in your children's life, you're going to teach them, you're going to channel their life, you're going to direct them, you're going to instruct them, all that is going to end by the time your children are about 18, or at the most by the time they are 20. Even if your child decides to be dependent, 100% dependent on you, okay, at 30, you will find that it's not as easy getting them. Yes, so they're just dependent on you at that time. It is only out of laziness or because they cannot stand on their own. So at that point, it is not parenting anymore. You have a dependent in an adult. Trust me, none of you is going to be happy about that relationship at that point, because you will constantly beat yourself up while you're 30-year-old who should be in charge of their lives, or while you're 30-year-old who should be quotes and unquotes, as Africans, okay, taking care of you, because that's the mentality for some of us, right? You will berate yourself while you're 30-year-old, while you're still taking care of your 30-year-old. So I'm very sure none of us as parents want to parent our children and take care of them when they are 30 years old, when they are 25 years old. Okay, we want to do the needful so that by the time our children are 18, they are already championing the cause of their lives. By the time our children are about 20, we become consultants in their life. The children can take the plow and do their life on their own. And then if there is anything, they would just call you, hey mom, this is it, I don't know, I just want to run this by you. This is what I am thinking of doing. What do you think? At that point, you become a consultant. Just the same way in your company, you want to take a major decision or you want to take on a project and you bring it a consultant that you can brainstorm with and you can form a think tank with or something like that. Okay, so that's what you should be, or that's what you should be to your child when your children pass the age of parenting, when they become young adults. But if we don't do the needful, we will realize that our children will grow and they'll be 25 and 30 and we're still struggling to parent them. I don't want that. I don't know about you. All right. So the moment you can understand that the child is different and this is why the child is different, then you will find the best tool, the best strategy to help that child. The goal is to make our children independent. The goal is to make our children independent. And that brings me, okay, to things that have been happening in recent times. Okay, so of course, we all come up here on social media and we see the things that happen every day. There's one bad news or one bad thing after the other. And then when these things happen, the next thing we get as parents is, or social media users, okay, the next thing we do is we begin to have arguments back and forth. What should have been done? Who is to be blamed, who is not to be blamed, and all of that. When I see these things, I don't even look at, I don't think of parents. If I just leave the parents in the corner, first of all, and then I go and I look at the child, okay, every time I hear these things, I leave the parents in the corner first. Like, first of all, you just stay aside out of this thing because, hey, there is nothing you can tell me. There is nothing you can tell me that happens in the life of young people that you want to exonerate the parents. I don't buy it. I do not buy it at all. There is a responsibility that is the parents' responsibility, and parents, we should be able to take our responsibility, take responsibility for the things we have done or haven't done in the lives of our children with our full chest. Okay, so that's aside. But what I do is I go and I look at the child and I look at the situation and I'm wondering why this, why this, why this. So now there's the argument. Should my child go to boarding school? Should my child not go to boarding school? Why should I send my child to boarding school? Why should I not send my child to boarding school? And I always say to parents, when people ask me these questions or people try to bring these before me, I say, don't worry, I have my preferences why I would send my child to boarding school or why I would not send my child to boarding school. But this is where it's going to come from. It's going to come from the place of the need. Why do I need to send my child to a boarding school? So that's the first question you want to ask yourself. Why do I need to send my child to a boarding school, or why do I need to send my child to a day school? What am I trying to achieve? It is the skills, the habits. Okay, it's the skills, the habits that you are trying to achieve that should determine whether your child goes to boarding school or not to boarding school. So if you don't have a goal or you don't have what it is that you're trying to achieve, and all you're doing is you just want to follow people, everybody goes there. Or if it is coming from the place of your own personal need, okay, simply, I just don't want anybody to stress me. I don't want to be cooking for people. Let them go. Then you probably have not looked down to, you don't know your need or the need of that child. Okay, so you need to understand the need of your child and you need to understand the why behind your decision to take your child to secondary school, to boarding school, or not to take your child to boarding school. It is very important. However, whether your child goes to boarding school or your child stays at home, what will happen? Certain things will happen if we do not put things in place. If we don't put the right things in place, if we don't put the right boundaries in place, if we don't put the right instruction in place, and we do not teach our children right, our children will not be equipped for certain They will not be equipped for certain circumstances that will come up in their lives, whether they are with you or they're somewhere in a boarding school. And this is a fact. So before you send your children anywhere, boarding school, day school, at any point, we need to equip our children. We need to equip our children. So my son is going to secondary school, and I already have a plan. My son is going to secondary school, and I already have a plan to teach him skills for that stage in his life. He is a preteen, and there are certain things that need to be in place. There are certain things that the children must know. There are certain things that we need to put in place right now if our children are going to be successful when they go to secondary school. Now I have decided I'm not going to go through this alone. I want to do it with you. Okay, I have started and I want to do it with you. So we are having a challenge. Okay, we're having a challenge. Equip your child to go. To be successful. What's the title of that challenge even? All right, so basically the challenge is for us to equip our children to be successful, to step into secondary school and be successful. So that challenge is going to begin sometime this month. It's going to begin on the 20. Oh, why don't I have? So it's going to begin on the 22nd, I think. From the 22nd, it's a 10 days challenge. Okay, so we're going to have 3 days. We're going to have 3 days of live session, and after that, we will have from the first day, we're going to have tools. Okay, I'm going to take you through everything. Oh, now I've done this with 1 or 2 people who have come, 2 people actually who have come to be with me. Okay, and by the time I was preparing them to go to higher institution, I do this. I go through what is required and what is needed for you to be successful when you go to school. So when my niece came to me at 16 and it was time for her to go to the university, okay, she graduated when she was less than 14. So she had graduated before when she just turned 14. And then she came to me shortly after she was 15 or so, going on 16 to come and go to university. I looked at her when she came and I'm like, okay, she is university, no wahala and all that. But in my head, I knew she wasn't going to go anywhere. At least not under my watch. I knew she wasn't going to go to any university because I just needed to be with her for a month, and I realized this one was not ready at all to be in that place. They will consume her, and then they will consume her they will consume her there like a shark consuming a small fish. So I just knew that there was no way. So what did I do? I sat down and I said to myself, time to prepare her for school. So I have prepared. So by the time she was 10 months here, we were done. We were ready for school. We were ready for school because immediately I saw that, okay, there's so much to be done. We went to work. We went to work, and it was tool after tool. I had to do skills. I had to train habits. Okay, we had to do skills. We had to train habits. We had to come up with like a consistent strategy, a strategy that was consistent, and then tools that we use consistently. Okay, and today, if the admission is coming from wherever in the world, I will freely drop my niece right there, and I know that she will be fine. That is what we should do, parents. Before we drop our children in schools, you should hit your chest and drop your child in school and walk away, knowing that your child will be fine. The rest is God. Do you understand? The rest is God. But let's do our homework before we drop our children in a day school, provided we're not dealing with infants and toddlers, right? We're not dealing with infants and toddlers. Provided we're dealing with children that are of school age, then there is so much that we can do to prepare them to be successful. So that challenge is just 1,000 naira. With 1,000 naira, you can enter for that challenge. If you pay from now to the 10th of this month, you can enter that challenge for 1,000 naira. After that, it's going to be 2,000 naira. But hey, by the time we're done in those 10 days, you will have your tool that you can use 2 or 3 times before school resumes. So we'll do it together for 10 days, back to back. The tools are intense, and by the time you're done, your child will be ready for school. So by the time you do it 2-3 times during the course of the holiday, the child would have gained, you would have done it consistently. a child will have practiced over and over, and then you are very sure, okay, when you're dropping your child in school, then you know you have done your part and you know God will do the rest. That is what it is. Because when you hear, I mean, some of the stories you hear, when I hear some of the stories I hear, I can't stop but ask. I mean, in fact, I don't even want to go into these things, but sometimes you ask yourself, I mean, how couldn't there be a connection between the parents and the child? I mean, what happened? Do you understand what happened? And I realize sometimes we take a lot of things for granted. We take a lot of things for granted. We don't come to that place with our children. We don't. We just wait for them. Time for them to go to school. When it's time for them to go to school, 2 3 days before school, then we sit them down and then we remind them. Remember the child of who you are. You just pack threats and pack threats and pack what do you call it? A pity party. Pity party all over the place, and then threats, and then fill the child's head with your threats and then your pity party. After everything that we've done for you, don't go there and disgrace me. It doesn't work. By the time the child gets to the gate of the school, the child will forget all that your pity party. For 3 months, the child is forgotten it. When they come back, you will deal with you again and they go. So no, let's equip our children. That is where the real deal is, equipping the children. So at the end of this video, you can join the challenge. Okay, it's in the group. I'm going to post it again. We're going to have it over and over again so that you can see it and you can hop into this challenge. You will be glad you joined. You will be glad you joined. All right, so the next temperament I'm going to be talking about is the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic is the calm, cool, calm, and collected one. Us. All right, so I am a super phlegmatic. Okay, so the phlegmatic is the one that is hardly unruffled in the face of trials, in the face of temptation, in the face of, even if everyone is shaking, the phlegmatic is not easily ruffled. Okay, this group of people have the ability, they love the arts, right? They love the arts. They have a cool, calm demeanor. Okay, usually they are spectators. They won't take leadership roles, so they will not be the ones to volunteer to do a lot of things. But hey, if they have someone who can motivate them or someone who nudges them to take on these roles, they do great, and they do excellently well when they are given roles. But on their own, they will not come out and accept those roles. So the phlegmatic is somewhat of an introvert. Okay, so the phlegmatic is an introvert by nature. Okay, maybe not as introverted as the melancholic. That is the word melancholy. That is the next group that we're going to be talking about. Okay, but hey, the phlegmatic is very calm, is very empathetic, right? They're the ones that are empathetic. They are peacemakers. They do not want trouble. They don't want trouble. They would rather have peace than have trouble. They are laid back. Okay, they're laid back in their ways, but when given responsibilities, they take their responsibilities well and do it to the best of their ability. So yes, you could have that child that is just, in class, would not volunteer to do anything. He's just chilling. He doesn't want trouble. He doesn't make trouble, and all of that. And then these ones are usually easily sidelined because they are not pushy. They are not fussy. Okay, so it's very easy for you to sideline them. So you need to identify if your child, as a teacher, as a parent, you need to identify if your child is a phlegmatic. And then you want to come in there to motivate them. When they are motivated, they do amazing things. Okay, so the last group we'll be looking at is the melancholy. It is very analytical. He's analytical, is self-sacrificing actually. He's a super introvert, but he's not consistent. The phlegmatic is very consistent, but the melancholy is not very consistent. One moment he's boisterous, and then you would think that he's an extrovert. The next moment he's almost a depressed human being. So one moment the melancholic is all boisterous and he's jumping and he's all over the place. He's like, oh, he has energy, he's got life. The next moment he's moody. Okay, the next moment he's moody. He can even drag himself to a place of, he can practically drive himself to a place of depression. So the melancholic is not consistent, okay, but they are very analytical, they are very cerebral, they are lovers of the arts, okay. There's no group that appreciates the arts as much as the melancholy, okay. And this group of people can be self-sacrificial, so they make the most loyal friends. Ordinarily they will not make friends easily. The melancholy will not put himself in front and go ahead and approach you and make friends with you, but when they make friends, they are very committed to their friendship. So yes, this can be your child. That's one that one moment he's happy, the next moment he wakes up in the morning, nobody has done anything to him. He is just dragging himself and dragging his face, and I mean, he's just not happy. I mean, sometimes, and you're wondering what's going on. So these are the ones that you get upset with easily. Like, what is wrong with you? Why do you always so? You need to calm down. If you understand this child, you will know that, okay, at this moment, he's just having one of those down moments. That, as we said, you cannot change their temperament. What you want to do, you want to sit with the child and explain to the child, okay, this is this personality that you have is because of these. This is the kind of temperament that you have, and chances are sometimes you will feel this way. Hey, but you need to be in charge of your emotions. You need to be in charge of your feeling, and you need to say to yourself, I deserve to be happy and to deserve to, and I want to make other people happy. Because sometimes when you get into this mood, oh, my son is melancholic. So sometimes you get into the mood. The thing is, you end up affecting other people around you, isn't it? So you end up affecting other people around you, and So sometimes you need to ginger yourself up, okay, so that you make those moody sessions or those moody period very short, so that you don't dampen the energy of other people. So you need to teach them, let them know who they are, okay, because you know who they are, and then help them manage who they are. Now, in children, this temperament may not, in children, in fact, in everybody, temperaments show up in combinations, okay? So it's not like one person can be just one thing. So you can have your dominant, you can be, one of these can be dominant, and you still have, recess of these other of another group of temperament. Okay, so in children, when we talk about temperament, we look at them, okay, generally as some group of children being difficult, some group of children being easy, some group of children being shy, and all of that. So that is the reason. Okay, you see one child that is very easygoing. The child can get on the playground and play with anybody. The child, as I said, you feed the child and drop the child, and the child goes to sleep. You can give the child instruction one time, and then the child takes it. So that child is calm, and the child is easy. It's probably because of the combination of temperaments that this child has. Okay, so the combination that the child has comes across, it manifests, okay, as easy. The child comes out across as being easy. And then there is another child that comes out as difficult, okay, because probably the combination of temperaments that the child has is such that it manifests as being difficult. And these are the ones that get into trouble a lot. So we want to say, as parents, remember that you are the parents. You are the parents, and at all times, it is important that you understand this temperament. And then when you are dealing with your children, okay, you want to also look at yourself and your temperament. What temperament type do you have? Because the temperament type that you have can actually affect your children and how they behave. So you cannot be that real deep choleric that is always busting people around, shouting and yelling all around the place, and then you think that you will have a child that is calm and easy. To an extent, your temperament type is going to end up affecting your child, the way your child behaves. So you want to pay attention to yourself as a parent and make sure that your temperament is not also rubbing off on your child. Because a lot of times parents, especially who are choleric, okay, parents who have a combination of like real extroverted or choleric, temperament, or a parent who is like really melancholic, and most times maybe the melancholic part is dominant, and that parent finds himself moody more than the parent is boisterous and active, you will find out that your child will probably gain. I mean, these are the ones that can't stand it when their children are like that too. You are this person that's always moody all the time, and then hey, all of a sudden you have children who are moody, and you are always yelling and angry at them. Hey, you probably just rubbed off on your child. So we need to pay attention to who we are, okay? The temperament that we have and how we express this temperament, okay, to be sure that we are portraying the right way to behave, okay, to our children, so that when they behave in that way, we don't get upset and we deal with them, forgetting that we could have influenced them. And then more than that, we need to pay attention to who our children are. Let the people that they are teach us. Learn from them who they are, so that you can parent them in the best way possible for their temperament or personality type. All right. Have you ordered a copy of Mentor Parents and Baby Steps? Yes, 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 yes. Pre-order for this amazing book is over. So now you get to buy the book for 6,000 naira, because that's what it's really worth. Quality book, 2 books. Okay, quality book, 2 books. We just brought it down to 4, 5 for pre-order, so that people who pre-order, can just get that bonus. But hey, if you order the book from now till the 16th, when it is officially launched or unveiled, you still get to become a part of our master class. We have this master class that is coming up. It's going to teach you how to help your children learn the currency of the 21st century, how to teach your children money sense at a level that even you do not understand. Because hey, we're preparing them for a generation that even we do not understand. So hey, equipping is very key. And yes, you need to join the 1,000 naira challenge. You need to join that challenge. Let's prepare our children to go and be successful in the next school year. If your child is going to secondary school, especially, this challenge is for you. If your child is going to boarding school, please, this challenge is absolutely for you. If your child is a preteen, this challenge is for you. If you have a teenager that is struggling or that struggled this academic year in school, then this challenge is for you. Come, let's equip our children so that our children will be in school and there is nothing that you are missing even while your child is in school. Everything, I mean, your connection, your bond is still in place, is still intact. Your child cannot do that on his own until you have gone through a process with the child. Come, let's do it together as a group. Come, let's do the brainstorming for you. Let's put this together for you and let's do it together. It will be robust and you will be glad that you participated. It's just 1,000 naira. But hey, this is worth 10,000 naira. But we're giving it to you for 1,000 naira because of all that is going on around us and the need to equip parents so that they can equip their children. So thank you very much for joining us. This is supposed to be about 30 minutes, but oh my goodness. All right. So thank you very much for all who joined us. Thank you, Onyinye. I see you. Thank you, Priska. Thank you, Norma from Abuja. Thank you for everyone that's watching behind the scene. If you're catching the replay, let us know that you were catching the replay. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And the link will be there, or the account will be there for you to pay and join our 1,000 naira challenge. It's going to be an amazing one. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm signing out. Have a lovely, lovely evening. My name is Mary Beth, and I'm always, always excited to be on your screen. And I am honored to do parenting. I will be with you on your parenting journey. Have a lovely evening. Bye.